Hi, my name is Alondra Valverde, and my topic for my research paper was OCD, which is obsessive compulsive disorder. So first and foremost, what is the obsessive compulsive disorder? It is an anxiety disorder in which time people have recurring unwanted thoughts, ideas, or obsessions that make them feel driven to do something repetitively, also known as compulsions. Another definition is a brain and behavior disorder that is categorized as an anxiety disorder in the DSM-IV. The OCD causes severe anxiety in those affected and involve both obsessions and compulsions that interfere with daily life. So pretty much, yes, that's what it says. You're obsessed to do something repetitively, which is compulsions. So over time, they came up with 3 theories. The 3 main theories are biological, cognitive behavioral, and psychodynamic. So the biological, it's pretty much what it sounds like. It's more of genetics and everything. It could have been passed down from your parents, or mainly your parents. So it is a circuit in the brain which regulates primitive aspects of your behavior, such as aggression, sexuality, and bodily excretions. So when this circuit is activated, these impulses are brought to your attention and cause you to perform a particular behavior that appropriately addresses the impulses. So if you have OCD, it is difficult for you to turn off these impulses. As an example, when you go to the restroom and then you wash your hands, you have this obsession to keep washing your hands, a fear of the germs, fear of being contaminated, and so yeah, you have a difficulty to turn those impulsions off. The second one is cognitive behavioral. So if you are vulnerable to OCD, you are unable to ignore these thoughts. In addition, you may feel that you should be able to control these thoughts, that these thoughts are dangerous. And then the third one, to finish off the theories that cause OCD, psychodynamic. So psychodynamic theories of OCD stress that obsessions and compulsions are signs of unconscious conflict that you might be trying to suppress, resolve, or cope with. These conflicts arise when an unconscious wish is at odds with socially acceptable behavior. This usually relates to sexual or aggressive urge. As far as OCD has a lot of parts to it. Some possible consequences that may cause, there could be short-term and long-term consequences. So some short-term consequences are that it's difficult for you to get involved with society. You have difficulties at work or school to focus, to maintain your area, or you have trouble maintaining relationships. It could be their friendly relationships or actual love relationships. Some long-term consequences are depression, constant anxiety, and a high risk of substance abuse. So OCD is a very complicated disorder. It can come along with other disorders in the long run. Then I researched a personal case of a woman who was diagnosed with OCD. So her name was Callie. She is currently 32 years old, still living, who was diagnosed with OCD at age 7. She had been able to treat with her condition with medication for most of her life, until recently that she began to experience new OCD symptoms. She caught herself going to therapy to help her control her OCD. She is recently separated from her husband of 8 years. They have joint custody of their 2 children, ages 5 and 7. So she does have a family, even though she's been struggling with her OCD disorder, but she has been able to manage that. Callie and her ex-husband made an agreement so that the kids wouldn't have to be moving from the 2 homes. So what they do is that Callie stays at the house with the kids for a week, and then at the end of the week, the following week, she goes and lives with her parents. This agreement, it does work for the kids, for the ex-husband and everything, but it has affected Callie emotionally. She says that she had been having difficulties to sleep, mood changes, increased anxiety, new OCD symptoms, and difficulty to focus at work, leading up to not finishing up with their deadlines at work. As I had mentioned before, Callie was diagnosed at age 7 with OCD. So the reason believed that why she was diagnosed with OCD, or that she was able to get OCD, is because the constant need of reassurance and to organize things in her classroom. So ever since she was a little girl, she had the need to organize things in a classroom. Any change in her routine at home or school resulted in extreme anxiety and agitation. They took her to a psychologist who performed a test and was hesitant to diagnose her because she was only age 4. So they didn't know if it really was OCD or not. Until 4th grade that she changed schools, this transition became very difficult for her. She couldn't manage to adapt to the new environment at her new school. So it was, that's when they took her to a psychologist, and then at age 7 they gave her a firm diagnosis of OCD and she began taking medication. In my personal opinion, I think OCD is a really difficult disorder. We might have an idea, a brief idea of what OCD is, trying to fix things, trying to be organized, trying to be clean, but it goes deeper than that. It can affect you in many other ways that people don't understand, the people who actually have an OCD disorder. I admire the case of Callie because she was able to form a relationship even though it wasn't easy for her, and I imagine it wasn't easy for the ex-husband either, just because having to deal with her anxiety attacks or any other sort of area that it might have been difficult.
What's the difference between OCD and sort of being like clean and neat?
The thing that makes OCD a disorder is that you have an obsession over something that you want to do repetitively, not as much as like just being an organized person. When you're organized and then it gets disorganized, like you're kind of okay with it at the beginning, but these people that have the actual disorder, they repetitively move the stuff even if it's already fixed. Like they have to keep moving it because in their brain it's like it's still messed up. So yeah.
How do you treat OCD?
So you go to therapy. You have to be going to therapy and medication. It really just depends on the dosage, depending on your case. It depends on like how long you have had it. Typically, OCD is diagnosed at an early age, between year like 7 as Callie, 7 to like your teenage years. So thank you very much for watching my video. I am Alondra Valverde and this was my research topic on obsessive compulsive disorder. Thank you.